I mean, damn, hit the thumbs up. We got college football today. Hit the thumbs up. We'll start in a second. Oh, yeah, good morning, it's Uncle Lou here. Yep, that's right, it's me, Uncle Lou, live on LouTube for you. Welcome to the College Football Kickoff Show, live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. right here on LouTube during the college football season. And the College Football Kickoff Show is sponsored by Devil Dogs Brew and Beans. And they've got an Uncle Lou coffee blend. That's right. Make sure you check out the link in the description of the video. I've partnered with the good people over at Devil Dogs Brew and Beans to bring you some of the best coffee money can buy. Check it out. Link in the description. You can get whole bean, ground, espresso blend, different flavors, strengths, different boldnesses. Whatever you need, they've got it. Check it out. Help support the show and the channel. Pick you up a bag of Uncle Lou coffee and start your day the same way I do, with a great cup of coffee. Have a good morning. Football day. Y'all excited? Good morning. Yeah, it's Uncle Lou here. That's right, it's me, Uncle Lou. Live on LouTube. College game day is coming on today, but not till 10 a.m. Normally it comes on at 9. But since Notre Dame is the only team playing today, they're waiting till 10 because, let's be honest, nobody gives a shit about Notre Dame. Not even college game day. College game day sleeping in today. Yeah, over on ESPN, coming on at 10 instead of 9 because, well, it's just Notre Dame. I'm not sure if College Game Day is going to broadcast in black and white in honor of Notre Dame or not. We'll have to wait till 10 o'clock and see. I think it's a studio show, College Game Day today. I don't think they're on campus anywhere. But anyway, how's everybody doing? We made it through the postseason, the offseason, the preseason, and here we are. It's kickoff time for the 2023 college football season. Week 0 gets underway today. For those of you who maybe are new to the channel since last season, I do this show every every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. during the season, the College Football Kickoff Show. We do a few different things here on this show. We go through the list of games every Saturday, figure out what games are coming on which time, on which channels, and all that kind of thing, what time we need to be watching these games. We take a look at all the latest odds and lines for the games, trying to figure out a way to either make or lose some money betting on the day's games. And then, of course, we just talk about the day's games and whatever happens to be going on both College Game Day and the Big Noon. What do they call the pregame show on Fox? What do they call the pregame show that comes on Fox? I know Big Noon Kickoff is the game that comes on at noon every week on Fox. What do they call the pregame show? What do they call that? I don't know what they call that. But anyway, we put both of those shows on every Saturday morning. We keep an eye on them for anything interesting that they might be discussing or talking about. And we just have a good time getting ready for the day's games in college football. I appreciate everybody tuning in this morning. Make sure you're hitting the thumbs up here at the start of the show. That's a huge help. It's literally the easiest, simplest thing you can do to help support the show and the channel. So if you're excited about today's start of the college football season, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up. We got some games worth watching today. I mean, I'm not going to blow any smoke here. Most of these games that are on today, if they were on a regular Saturday with a full slate of games, most of us wouldn't be watching these games. Notre Dame and Navy, Vanderbilt and Hawaii, Southern Cal and San Jose State are the three games featuring Power 5 teams today. Will any of them be upset? Will any of those teams lose? They're all huge favorites, even Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's a 17.5-point favorite, or they were a couple of days ago. Like I said, we'll take a look at all the latest odds and lines here in a few minutes. And, of course, everyone's favorite and least favorite part of the Saturday morning kickoff show. The rigged wheel makes its triumphant return today. Every Saturday morning, we try to give some money away. We'll see if we can do it today. I don't know. We're going to make a couple of changes to the rigged wheel this year, too. More on that when we get to it. We usually do that sort of towards the end of the show. I'm so excited. I can't stand it. Anybody have a hard time sleeping last night like a kid on Christmas Eve? I don't know. I don't know. Week 0 does kind of feel like college football's version of the preseason. You know, we watch it because it's the first football we've been able to see in a while. But it does kind of feel like it's just kind of the appetizer or the warm-up to it really starting next week. And we've got 5 straight days of games next week for week 1, starting on Thursday night with Utah and Florida. Friday night games, of course, games all day and night on Saturday. The Monday night game is Florida State and LSU, right, on Sunday night. And then on Monday night, Clemson and Duke. So 5 straight days and nights of games to kick off week 1 next week after a handful of games today to wet our whistle. What games are being played today? You know what? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. What games are being played today? Well, let's take a look. Navy at Notre Dame is the first game of the day, 2:30 p.m. on NBC. I'll be live streaming right here on YouTube for that game, so we'll get our first look at Sam Hartman, former Wake Forest quarterback who has transferred to Notre Dame. Get our first look at him today. Notre Dame versus Navy. This game's in Ireland, Aviva Stadium, over there in Dublin, Ireland. In that, yeah. Is it true next year? I think I heard this on Pete's show last night. Next year they're playing in Ireland again, but it's Florida State and Georgia Tech. Jesus Christ. Are they trying to, I don't know what they're trying to do, sending Georgia Tech over there. I'm not sure if that's the best way to help grow the sport, but That's what I heard yesterday, that next year's they're playing in Ireland again next year, but it's Florida State and Georgia Tech. I don't know. Maybe y'all can let me know if that's true. Heard it on Pete's show. Yeah. So Navy at Notre Dame, 2:30 p.m. Navy runs a triple option, right? So we'll see. Of course, Notre Dame made their name back in the black and white days by beating up on service academies and winning national titles pre-integration, and really haven't done anything since. Sans 1988, yeah, which was a long time ago, 35 years and counting. Yeah, UTEP plays today. Oh my God, one of the most popular teams in the history of this channel, probably the most popular non-Power 5 team in the history of this channel. UTEP, they play at Jacksonville State. A lot of people picking Jacksonville State in that one. Would be a little bit of an upset, I think. That game comes on CBS Sports Network at 5:30. UMass at New Mexico State. Most people I've seen picking New Mexico State in that one. No faith in UMass, I reckon. That one's 7 o'clock on ESPN. 7 o'clock on FS1, we have Ohio. Not that one. Not that one. The other one. At San Diego State. 7:30 p.m. Hawaii at Vanderbilt and San Jose State at Southern Cal at 8. I will be streaming tonight on Patreon for those primetime games. Florida International at Louisiana Tech at 9. So Hawaii at Vandy, 7:30 on the SEC Network. San Jose State at Southern Cal, 8 p.m. on the Pac-12 Network, which means about 9 people are going to watch it. And Florida International at Louisiana Tech, 9 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. So, again, the streaming schedule for today. Will be 2:30 p.m. for Notre Dame and Navy right here on this channel. Come hang out. Let's watch Notre Dame. Let's watch Sam Hartman. Is Notre Dame's defense going to have any trouble at all with Navy's triple option? Is it going to be a game at all? Most people don't think so. But come hang out. It's the first game of the year. We'll watch it together. We'll see what I'm sure Notre Dame will do something we can laugh at. So that should be interesting. So that'll be right here on YouTube at 2:30. And then, like I said, tonight, the first Patreon stream of the year, we'll start that stream in time for the Hawaii-Vanderbilt game at 7:30. I'm high on Vanderbilt this year for betting purposes. And their win total, the Vegas win total for them at 3.5. I've bet the over on that. So in order for Vandy to hit the over, they need to win this game against Hawaii. If they're not good enough to beat Hawaii, they're probably not winning more than 3.5 games. I need them to beat Hawaii. Like I said, they're a significant favorite here in this game at home against Hawaii. Beat them last year on the road out in Hawaii. This year they get them in Nashville. I need Vandy to win that game. So we'll be on Patreon in time for that game at 7:30. And then we'll be keeping an eye on the Southern Cal San Jose State game at 8 o'clock as well. That's the plan. That's the plan for week 0. YouTube stream at 2:30, Notre Dame and Navy. Patreon stream at 7:30, Vanderbilt and Hawaii, Southern Cal, and San Jose State. If you're not signed up on the Patreon page and you want to check it out, there's a link in the description. Every single Saturday, I do a Patreon stream. We pick a time slot. By we, I mean you. I put a poll up on the Patreon page every Monday during the college football season. I let the poll run on Patreon for a couple of days, and everybody over on the Patreon page votes on a time slot that they want me to stream for that coming Saturday, either noon, afternoon, or prime time. And whatever they vote on, that's what I stream over on the Patreon page for that week. We have a really good time on the Patreon streams. A lot of you join the Patreon streams during the season for the game streams and then unsubscribe or whatever in the off season. So if you're one of those people, make sure you get yourself signed up, and let's hang out tonight, prime time, and watch Vandy and Southern Cal. Let's see who's here hanging out with us today for week 0. Who got up early on the first Saturday of the college football season? Let's see who's here. Robert's here, Justin Farmer, Dave, Kirby's Belt, Alan V. You know it's football season when Alan V. Troll Patrol shows up. I haven't seen Alan V. in 6 months. Dude's been on a milk carton. Good to see you, Alan. We're starting to get worried about you. I was going to send somebody over to your house to put their finger under your nose. Yep, GF Sports, Hunter Buster, Sammy J, Clem Byrne, Pastor Dave, what's up, buddy? Chance-tastic, good to see you. Desert Dog, The Two-Time, Biggs, Mikes, Austin Tippett, D4 Sports, Anthony Swift, Matt Dummett, Jarvis S., Brandon Pratt, Young, the hell? Youngin Zay. What's up, Youngin? How you doing? Good. I'm glad to hear that. Agent Z, Ben Mantooth is obviously here. Johnny Bolton, Stingray, Colby, Kirby's Belt, COA TV, Ken A.V. Guy, a long-time viewer here on YouTube, RB Smata, Lucas Ackerman, Josh Bilton, Raj. Good morning, Raj. Zeus Almighty, George on my mind, Marie, Kyle, Mr. E. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Uncle Lou, college football kickoff show every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. I appreciate y'all hanging out. College game day is coming on today. We mentioned it at the top of the show, but it's not coming on until 10 a.m. Typically, it comes on at 9 a.m. during the season. The same time we start the show, and we sort of keep an eye on it, see what they're talking about, whatever the case. But no college game day today until 10 a.m. How in the hell? Oh, sorry. Pay me no mind here. Pay me no mind at all. What is this? Yeah. Yes and yes. Louis C., thank you for hitting the Cash App link to help support the show today. He says, this is better than Christmas. Well, guess what, Louis? Guess what, buddy? You are the first name this year to go on the rigged wheel. Man, you are the first name this year to go on the rigged wheel. Good luck to you, Louis. I don't even know if he knows what the rigged wheel is. Well, you're in for quite a treat, Louis. Yes, you are in for quite a treat. Retro KG, thank you for hitting the super chat. He says, Hawaii is bringing back the run and shoot offense. Vandy should not take them lightly. Have a good morning, Uncle Lou. Yeah, I don't think Vandy should be taking anybody lightly ever under any circumstances. I mean, they're Vandy. Vanderbilt! I should play that old Vanderbilt video this morning at some point. I should play that. How many of y'all were here in 2016 when Georgia lost to Vanderbilt? At home, on homecoming! I should play that this morning. Thank you, Retro KG, for the super chat. Matthew Watson, thank you for hitting the super chat this morning. He says Tennessee's going 12-0 this year, Lou. Yeah, every August. The Tennessee's going 12-0 every August in the history of this channel. It's a remarkable streak that the Tennessee fans are on in terms of picking Tennessee to go 100-0 every single August. Weren't they undefeated last November? Wasn't Tennessee undefeated last November, too? Hold on, let me think. Let me try to think back here. September, October. Beat Bama. Scored half 100 on Bama. Beat Bama 52-49. Ran their fucking mouth for 2 weeks. Said they were the best team in the history of history. Oh, yeah, got ranked number 1, too. For that 1 week in November, then showed up at Athens and got their shit pushed in. Just got absolutely humiliated. Yeah, I remember that. They were undefeated in November. Thank you, Smoking what? Yeah, Smoking Giant. Thank you for the super chat. He says, what's the over-under on Ryan Day crying after losing to Michigan this year? Should I parlay that with Notre Dame not being able to win a postseason game? Man, that would be a great bet to make, right? You'd have to put some sort of So like, I don't know, like post-game press conference, is that what we're talking about here for Ryan Day? Yeah, he'll make an excuse or cry about something, won't he? The hash marks weren't narrow enough. The wind was too windy. It was too cold. It was too rainy. Whatever the case. Yeah, it's pretty good odds on that. And then as far as Notre Dame not being able to win postseason games, major postseason games, right? They can win the lower tier games, but they haven't won a major postseason game in 30 years. They're like 0-9 or something like that in major postseason games. That includes conference championship games, which, of course, in 2020, they were actually in the ACC, made the ACC conference championship game, and lost. So that includes conference championship games, college football playoff games, New Year's Six games, and BCS games. 0-9, and they've lost by an average of about 22 points per game. So, yeah, that would be an interesting parlay if you could find a sports book or a bookie that would be willing to take that bet. It sounds like a pretty sound investment to me. Yeah, seems like a sound investment. To me. All right, we'll get right back to the super chats in a second. I got a few more to read, but before we go any further, let's explain the rigged wheel to those of you who might be new around here. Every Saturday morning, everybody that sends a Cash App or a PayPal, the amount doesn't matter. Your name gets added to this rigged wheel. Now, the wheel's not really rigged. The people in the comment section call it rigged anytime it doesn't land on their name. But every Saturday morning, any Cash App, any PayPal. I don't do super chats on any giveaways or contests or anything like that because YouTube takes half the super chat and it makes it not worth it to do it. But so any Cash App or PayPal during today's show, in any amount, your name will be added to this rigged wheel. At the end of the show, we're going to spin the wheel. At the end of the show, we're going to spin the wheel. The first name that it lands on, you can pick any game being played that day. In this case, there's only a handful, 4 or 5. But you can pick any game being played that day and bet it against the spread. If you win, I'll send you back twice what you sent me. So it's just basically you're making a bet on the game. Basically, you pick any game you can pick any game you want. If that person gets the game wrong, then whatever amount of money they were set to win will roll over to the next week for the next week's winner. And that's new for this. Not enough of y'all are winning is what it is. Y'all are way under 50%, way under 50%. Was it 2 seasons ago? Y'all went like 1-14 in your picks. So what we're gonna do is if whoever wins, if they get the game wrong, whatever amount of money they were set to win is gonna roll over to the next week's winner. Does that make sense? So let's just use $10 as an example. Somebody sends in $10. Their name gets added to the wheel. I spin the wheel at the end of the show. It lands on their name. They pick a game. They're set to win $10. They're 10 plus another 10, right? If they lose, that $10 will roll over to next week. So let's say we're at next week and somebody else sends $10 and their name gets added to the wheel. Well, instead of winning $10 that week, they're now trying to win $20. It's going to roll over every time somebody doesn't win. On top of that, after we spin the wheel the first time and pick a winner every single week that gets to pick a game, we're going to spin the wheel again, and that person, I'll just send you your money. I'll just send you your money back. How about that? You can't beat that with a stick. Actually, you actually can't beat that with a stick. Well, I guess it would depend on the size of the stick. Does that make sense? I think most of you were probably around last year, and you know how this rigged wheel thing works. The only thing different is if you don't win, your winnings are getting rolled over to the following week, and someone else gets a chance then to win your money. So That's that for the rigged wheel. The links to the PayPal and the Cash App are in the description of the video. Let's do this. And we do this at the end of the show every Saturday morning. So, get your Cash App, PayPal, send in whatever. This is just for people who support the show anyway. This is just a way to try to give you a chance to win something. Trying to give you a chance to win some money here. So, yeah, there you go. Let's do that. All right. Let me get back to reading these super chats here. Then we're going to look at the lines on today's games. There are some big lines on today's games, which is pretty obvious, I guess, because, Vanderbilt and Hawaii, Southern Cal, which is a top 5 or 6 team in most polls, playing a group of 5 team, and Notre Dame, who's a top 10, top 15 type team, playing a service academy. So the lines are huge. But we'll see if anybody's willing to. Is anybody picking an upset outright in either the Vandy game, the Southern Cal game, or the Notre Dame game? I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if anybody's willing to go out on that limb and pick an outright upset. But there may be some people who are willing to pick against the spread. We'll see. Let's get back to the hell am I doing here? I don't know. That might be part of the problem. A big part of the problem, actually. Alan V. Troll Patrol. Thank you for joining the join. Nick Koenig has been joined to the join for 8 months. That's amazing. He says, good morning, Woo. Been a while since I've caught a live show, and it feels great. Go Bucks, and good luck to everyone this year. It's football time. It is football time. Week 0 is here. He says, go Bucks, Ohio State man there. Someone actually called into the call-in show on Thursday, and I don't think he was trolling. He had to be trolling, though, didn't he? He's a Virginia fan. He's called in before, and he's never trolled before. I guess it's possible he was trolling. I don't know. He sounded serious to me. But did y'all hear this on Thursday? The guy called into the call-in show on Thursday. He's a Virginia fan. And he's picking Indiana to beat Ohio State week 1. And like I said, he seems serious to me. He seems serious to me. I don't know. I don't know about that. Would it be funny? Yeah, absolutely hilarious. But Indiana was like a 1 or a 2 win team or something last year. It was horrible. And I get it that it's, he's starting off with a conference game on the road or whatever, new quarterback. But come on. The talent discrepancy there is just insane. I don't think he had to be trolling. I don't know. He didn't sound like he was trolling. Good to see you in here, Nick. Fletch Diggity Dog, thank you for the super chat. He says, I've been subscribed since 2016 when you did that hilarious Fatan Balta video. Does that get me a spot on the wheel? Yeah, Fatan. That was the first video I ever made that sort of went viral or got shared around a lot of different places. That was right after the Florida game in no. The Fatan Balta video was 2015. Because that was Mark Richt. Yeah, the Fatan Balta video was 2015, not 2016. But so even longer, long time, it was that 7 years ago? 8 years ago, I guess, 2015. But yeah, that was right after the Georgia-Florida game when Mark Richt made the genius decision to start Fatan Balta against Florida. And, of course, we lost because that was Mark Richt's favorite thing to do, was lose to Florida. But, yeah, that was probably the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of getting rid of Mark Richt, actually. Chance-tastic, thank you for the super chat. He says, remind me, Lou, I need to go to the Patreon stream to get my LouTube sticker next to my name. Also, happy freaking football season. Good luck to your dogs like you really need it. Well, everybody needs some amount of luck at some point over the course of a football season, whether it's a fumbled ball that bounces one way instead of another or whatever. That's not to say that every team that wins a national title only wins the national title because of luck. But the college football season now is 14, 15 games long. It's about to be even longer. Every team, an 0-12 team gets lucky at some point during the season. A tipped ball gets tipped that way instead of this way. It's the difference between a pick six and an incomplete pass or something, So there's a little bit of luck involved, but how much luck will Georgia need to beat the majority of teams on their schedule? Not much. Not much. And yeah, the moderator wrenches get handed out on all the Patreon streams. So, and again, the Patreon stream is today at 7:00 for the primetime game. So even if you don't care or don't want to come and hang out and watch and whatever, just make sure you click on the Patreon stream tonight, leave a comment, and then you get your wrench. That's how that works. That's how that works. For those of you who might be new to the Patreon, there'll be a link posted on my Patreon page around 6:45 tonight. So you just go over to the Patreon page between 6:45 and 7, click on that link. You'll see it. It'll be the first post on my Patreon page around 6:45 tonight. Just click on that link, and it'll take you to tonight's Patreon stream for the primetime games. Thank you, Chance. Gary Klein, thank you for the super chat. He says, Tennessee, Texas, Rutgers to their own conference. Come on, man. I'm having a hard time even figuring out. It seems like this comment is some type of inside joke that I'm not in on. Because short of that, I'm having a hard time making any sense of this here now. Tennessee, Texas, Rutgers to their own conference. You want those three teams to just be in a conference by themselves? First of all, why? Second of all, what do these three teams have to do with each other that you would want to put them in the same conference? These are three teams in three different conferences who never play each other. Now, Texas is joining the SEC next year, but it's not like there's some massive history between Texas and Tennessee. I'm having a hard time making heads or tails of that. And obviously, I disagree. I ain't got no interest in seeing a conference made up of three teams, those three teams being Tennessee, Texas, and Rutgers. The only thing I can figure, those are three teams that are having a really, 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 really hard time winning a conference. Texas hasn't won a conference in 14 years. Tennessee hasn't won a conference in 25 years. God, say that out loud. I don't care where you're at or what you're doing right now. Say that out loud. Tennessee hasn't won a conference in 25 years. Jesus fuck. We beat Clemson, woo. Yeah, you beat Clemson. Wee. So did South Carolina, dummy. In Rutgers, hell, I don't know if they've ever won anything at all. But thank you for the super chat, though. Clint Eastwood says, hit the thumbs up, dummy. Yeah, that's a great idea. Everybody should be doing that. 359 people in here? Wow, that's a great crowd. I appreciate y'all hanging out this morning. But we should be able to get the thumbs up over 200 if that's the case. We're at 170 right now. We ought to be able to get that over 200. That's barely, 200 would be barely 50% of the people hitting thumbs up. I'm sure we can do that. I'm confident we can do that. Thank you, Clint Eastwood. By Insanity says 1998. Yeah, 25 years ago. They were ranked number one for 1 week in November. I do remember that. Nick, thank you again for the super chat. He says, some Ohio State fans are ignorant mouth breathers. Yeah, well, look, and those are the ones that are fun to talk about. We were talking about this on it might have been the call-in show the other day. It's not really fun to talk about rational opinions, right? I mean, the chances of me scrolling through my YouTube comment section, finding a rational, well-thought-out realistic comment and then doing a video about that are slim to none. Slim to none. What, like, no, that's not entertaining. What's entertaining is scrolling through my comments section, finding an Ohio State fan who 8 months later is still crying about Marvin Harrison, hash marks, or missed field goals, and saying that if you take the first 30 years off of the Ohio State-Michigan series, then Ohio State is leading the series. Like that's a great comment to make a video about, But everybody then gets lumped in with the dumbest common denominator of fans, Look, there's a lot of people that think I'm the dumbest Georgia fan on the planet, right? There's a lot of Georgia fans that hate me. But look, I get tagged a lot on Twitter and Facebook by different people in different discussions. And every single time, there will be Georgia fans in the thread saying, Uncle Lou's a fucking idiot. Somebody the other day, I got tagged in some Facebook group the other day, some college football Facebook group the other day, by an LSU fan, actually. I don't even remember what the post on Facebook was about or what was going on in I don't even remember, but I got tagged by some LSU fan in the comments section. And there was a reply to that comment. And the reply was from a Georgia fan. And it said, I wouldn't let Uncle Lou wash my car. Well, hey, lady, Uncle Lou ain't got no interest in washing your car. So, being the asshole that I am, though, before I made any type of reply, I went ahead and clicked on this individual's Facebook profile and did a little scrolling around, and I was able to find a picture of his car. And it was like I'm not even lying, it was like an early 80s, late 70s Datsun pickup truck. I'd be shocked if this thing could check the mail. So, of course, I screenshotted his, $250 pickup truck that he had. And look, I don't give a shit what anybody drives. I'm not one of these people to point and, you got a crappy car, or, you live here. But I don't even know who you are, and you're running around Facebook talking about Uncle Lou's an idiot. I wouldn't even let him wash my car. And then I go to your Facebook page, and that's your car? I mean, it's too easy. It's too easy. So I screenshotted the picture of his car. I went back to the thing where I was tagged, and he replied that he wouldn't let me wash his car. I posted a picture of his car, and I said, this car? ? Looks like you haven't let anybody wash it ever. And he was a Georgia fan. So, there are, But look, that's what gets the attention. The loudest, most obnoxious, idiotic fans, I guess, are the ones that get the attention, and then the rest of the fans get lumped in with them. So I guess the point of that story is I know you're not an idiot. And when I do videos and I say Ohio State fans are stupid or Alabama fans are so dumb or whatever, I'm clearly not talking about every Ohio State fan, every Alabama fan, whatever. I'm talking about whatever group of fans believes in whatever idiotic thing it is some fans said. Still crying about the Marvin Harrison hit. That's stupid. It was 8 months ago. We're getting ready to start the new season. Half the coaches for Ohio State, half the players, and half the fans are still crying about a clean hit in the end zone against Marvin Harrison. It's weird. It's weird. And so when I do a video and I say those Ohio State fans are fucking stupid, they can't let it go, I'm clearly not talking about all of them. And you get the point. So whatever I'm talking about with any fan base, it's never all of them. It's just the ones that believe in whatever it is I happen to be talking about. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah. Appreciate that, too. TriStar says, yo, mama. Oh, my mama's dead, TriStar. But hopefully you don't run off the road today. That would be an absolute shame. Jordan S., thank you for the super chat. He says, good morning, Lou. Good luck to your dogs. Here's hoping for a 2019 Sugar Bowl rematch. Hook 'em. Well, did you see my video yesterday? It's a possibility, according to Uncle Lou. I've got Georgia and Texas both making the playoffs. So it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Yep. TriStar says, can't wait for the two great teams, UMass, New Mexico State tonight. New Mexico State's not bad for what they are. You know, they're not bad for what they are. Eric Odom, thank you for the super chat. He says, thanks for the entertainment in the offseason. No, Eric. Thank you for the entertainment in the offseason. Eric, you provided me quite a bit of entertainment this offseason, did you not? You provided me and thousands of people that watch the call-in shows with a ton of entertainment this offseason, Eric. So thank you. I feel like I should be sending you a super chat, Eric, for the entertainment. I think he's the one that called in with the Georgia and Missouri rivals routine, but he's been around a long time. Just so happened that was a silly take. Nick, thank you for the super chat. He says Notre Dame has made a title game more recent than Rocky Top. Yes, they have. Notre Dame played for the Natty in 2012 and got absolutely obliterated. They just tore out the frame. Is that still an expression anybody uses, or did I just... Does anybody say that anymore? Tore out the frame. I might bring that back as an expression. I tried to bring nincompoop back a couple of years ago, but it just didn't catch on. I feel like nincompoop. I'm just messing with TriStar. He wasn't talking about my mama. He was just saying, yo, mama. He wasn't talking about my mama. I'm just messing with him. He's good. I tried to bring back nincompoop a few years ago. And I still feel like that's a very underutilized word that should be taken advantage of in way more situations. But it just didn't catch on. But is anybody interested in me trying to bring back the phrase tore out the frame? Is anybody interested in that? Has anybody in here ever even heard that before? You got tore out the frame. Jesus Christ Home Slice. Thank you for the super chat. It says, in my lifetime, Tennessee has only won one SEC championship. That's shocking and disturbing. Wow. Yeah, that's... I mean, look, when it's been 25 years, a long time. 25 years is a long time to go without winning your conference. You're talking about basically 25% of your existence as a program. You've gone without winning a national title. That's, I think shocking, disturbing, like you said there. Alarming also comes to mind. Smoking Giant, thank you for the super chat. Georgia fans, in quotation marks, hate Uncle Lou the most. Yeah. It's true. It's hard to believe, but it's true. A lot of it goes back to the Mark Richt thing. I was very loud and very obnoxious about firing Mark Richt in 2015, and that just a lot of people didn't like it. And then there was the Jake Fromm stuff too. I was never a huge fan of Jake Fromm. And a lot of people worshipped Jake Fromm because he posted pictures with his shirt off holding fish that he had caught. And you have to kind of be from Georgia, but there's a weird fetish. It's hard to understand. South Georgia in particular, there's a weird fetish around fishing and hunting. But like grown men going nuts because Jake Fromm posted a picture with his shirt off holding up a fish that he, I guess, caught. It's very strange. Very strange. Yep. Chance Tastic says, sent you a Cash App yesterday for a $15 bet that Navy beats Notre Dame outright. Yeah, I got that. I appreciate you just giving money away. Just giving money away there. Yeah, you're just giving money away there. Yeah. Mark Salyer says, I don't know if you've seen it, but you have a 50 in Cash App from me. Go Vols. No, I've not seen it. Been reading the super chats. Let's see what you got here. The Cash App and the PayPals, I will check at the end of the show because all of those people's names is added to the rigged wheel. Yeah. The rigged wheel is amazing. Okay, yeah, there's several names on the, I do have it. Mark, and everyone else, too, that has sent a Cash App. I do have that. I don't want to spend the entire show reading that. So what we do with for the rigged wheel, everybody that sends a Cash App or a PayPal, your name's going to get added to the rigged wheel at the end of the show. So at the end of the show, we'll go through all the Cash Apps, all the PayPals, get them added to the rigged wheel, and see if we can give away some money. That's going to be the plan anyway. Like I said, I tried to make that the plan last year. Didn't work out great, though. Didn't work out great. What about looking at the updated lines, odds, and all that for today's games? Does that interest anybody at all, or ain't got no interest in it? Ain't got no interest in it. There's the Cash App and the PayPal links again. If you want to get your name on the rigged wheel, we're going to give or attempt to give away some money at the end of the show today. Everybody who sends a Cash App or a PayPal, the amount doesn't matter. You're going to get your name. Where is it? Yeah, you're going to get your name entered on this here rigged wheel. You'll be right up there with Louis C. And we'll see if we can't give some money away. But you know what I want to do? Nope, not that. This. Let's do this. Let's move myself away. Nobody needs to see me. Like John Cena, you can't see me anyway. Do, 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 do. Word life. John Cena. I'm John Cena. All right, let's take a look at the most recent. Dang it, what is going on here? All right, this is about to make Uncle Lou mad here. All right, false alarm. I'm all good. Everybody calm down. I'm fine. Nothing to see here. Please disperse. Nothing to see here. All right, we're about 10 minutes away from the start of college game day. I believe it's a studio show today, and then I know they're on the road for a game or two next week. But let's take a look at today's games, the latest odds, lines, over-unders, blah, 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 all that kind of crap. So Navy, Notre Dame, which, again, I will be streaming right here on YouTube today at 2:30 p.m., so come hang out, watch the first college football game of the year. Navy, Notre Dame, live from Dublin, Ireland, 2:30 p.m. We'll be streaming it here. Notre Dame, as you can see, is a huge favorite here, favored by 20.5, so just under 3 touchdowns. A lot of talk this week about, and really every time you play an option team, you hear this, but, is Notre Dame going to be able to stop the option? It's hard to prepare for. Well, if you're going to play a team that runs the triple option, the best time to play them is week 1 or a bowl game. Why? Extra time to prepare for that silly-ass option, right? I've also heard that Navy wants to throw the ball more this year, but, I mean, come on. That means, what, throwing it 5 or 6 times a game instead of 2 or 3? I don't know. We'll get our first look at Sam Hartman in this game, kind of a reworked Notre Dame offense. See if they can find some wide receivers to kind of step up there. But I do think Notre Dame is going to be a really good team in 2023. Their schedule is tough. Don't be one of these people who just regurgitates, internet talking points. Don't be one of these people running around saying Notre Dame don't play nobody. Maybe in some years you can nitpick Notre Dame's schedule. Notre Dame plays, 3 top 15 teams this year? They play Southern Cal. They play Ohio State. They play Clemson. So, I mean, there's a lot of teams with a lot easier schedules than that. So now this one shouldn't be much of a contest, but anyway, so they're favored by 20.5. Sam Hartman, I think Sam Hartman's probably the best quarterback Notre Dame's had in a decade. I'm a believer in Sam Hartman. I guess there's still a little bit of a question mark about how much of Sam Hartman's success at Wake Forest was due to the offense they run at Wake Forest, which if you haven't watched a Wake Forest game over the last couple of years, they run a interesting offense. It's not RPO, it's not spread, it's not like it's not triple option. It's like a combo. It's hard to even explain or describe. It's kind of like Coastal Carolina's offense if you've watched them play any. It's a unique offense. Now I don't think Sam Hartman's numbers or I don't think Sam Hartman looked good specifically because he was just at Wake Forest running that. I think Sam Hartman is legitimately a good quarterback. And I think he's going to have a big year for Notre Dame, especially if they can find a receiver or two to kind of step to the forefront. Another kind of issue they've had over the years. Don't they have to replace Michael Mayer, too, at tight end? But Notre Dame should win this game for sure. Is there any issue with the travel over to Ireland? I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure these teams have been in Ireland for probably a week. At least. So as far as like there being any kind of issue with time zone differences or jet lag or anything like that, I can't imagine that being an issue. I'm sure these teams went over there, a week or so ago and have acclimated to that. But you got to remember, these are 18 to 22-year-olds. A lot of them have never, some of the freshmen have probably never even been on a plane before. The majority of the team has probably never been out of the country before. How is that going to impact them? Will it impact them at all? I don't know. Whatever impact it has, positive or negative on either team, I don't think will be enough for Navy to win the game. There's no way I would pick Navy to win here. You could talk me into taking Navy and the points if you can convince me that Navy can somehow slow the game down, limit Notre Dame's possessions, something like that. But I don't know. I kind of like Notre Dame just under 3 touchdowns. I don't know that I'd actually bet that game, primarily because Navy's a service academy and that always presents an unknown with a triple option. And because the game is in Ireland, I'd probably not bet the game either way. But for pick purposes, I'll take Notre Dame and lay the 20.5. UTEP at Jacksonville State. Talked a little bit about this earlier, but UTEP for some reason has been like a fetish team on this channel from day one. I still don't completely understand it or really even remember how it got started. But there's just a lot of people around here who still to this day will talk nonstop about UTEP. I can't even remember how that got started. They're a 2-point favorite against Jacksonville State. I've seen and heard a lot of people picking Jacksonville State in this game. I'm going to go with UTEP just because they're like a hero of this channel for so long. I'm not turning my back on UTEP. I don't know what's wrong with all you people. Hyping UTEP up for years, then they get featured in a week 0 game and you're picking Jacksonville State? What's wrong with you? This is not Jackson State, by the way, so don't get confused with that. This is Jacksonville State. They're in Alabama, is that right? The Gamecocks? I believe they're the Gamecocks. This is not the Jackson State that Dion coached at. This is Jacksonville State, so don't let that confuse you. But, I'll take UTEP there. Miami of Ohio at San Diego State. I kind of like Miami of Ohio in this one. Miami of Ohio is not soft either, by the way. Just want to point that out. I get accused of hating everything about Ohio. Miami of Ohio, not soft. Not soft at all. Can they beat San Diego State? Probably not, but I'm going to take Ohio in the points anyway because I'm an absolute maniac. UMass at New Mexico State. Now, this is one I don't think is going to be particularly close. I like New Mexico State in this one. UMass, hot doo-doo. Give me New Mexico State, lay the points. Hawaii and Vanderbilt. Man, how many times has Vanderbilt been a 17.5-point favorite over the last 5 or 6 years? Not very many. Not very many. You don't see Vanderbilt minus 17.5 very often. But you know what? I think not only do they win the game, I think they covered a 17.5. Now, obviously, I'm higher on Vanderbilt than the average idiot. And I have a gambling philosophy early in the year. So if I'm higher on teams in the offseason, if I'm higher on a team in the offseason, heading into a season, than the average person, then I like to bet that team early in the year. If I'm lower on a team than the average person heading into a season, then I like to bet against that team heading in, in the first week or so. I'm higher on Vanderbilt than the average person. Their win total is at 3.5 right now. I think they could win 5 or 6 games. So I'm going to take Vandy, lay the points, and cross my fingers. Give me Vandy. Lay the points. SEC. SEC. Hey, Texas and Oklahoma fans that are watching, do it with me. SEC. 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 Plus, isn't Hawaii on fire? Pretty sure it is. Give me the Commodores, lay the 17.5 in that one. We'll be streaming that one tonight on the Patreon stream. Hawaii and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt? The link to the Patreon stream tonight will be posted on the Patreon page around 7:15, 7:20. Just go to the Patreon page around that time. You'll see it. It'll be at the top of the page, the first post on the Patreon page. It'll be a link. Just click that link, and it'll take you to tonight's Patreon stream. We're going to watch the primetime games, including San Jose State, San Jose State at Southern Cal. Southern Cal, a huge favorite in this one, 31.5. We know about the offense. We know about Caleb Williams. We know about Lincoln Riley. Yeah, they lost some receivers to the NFL, but they're loaded there. They brought in Marshawn Lloyd from South Carolina, who I'm a big fan of if he can stay healthy at the running back position. Defensively, they brought in a bunch of transfers that are going to start right away. And they're significant upgrades over what Southern Cal had. Now, I still have the sort of overarching question about Lincoln Riley, which is philosophically, is he doing something wrong defensively? Obviously better players will help. But, in practice, are they emphasizing defense enough? How are they practicing defense? Do they hit enough? Do they hit too much? Because when you watch a Lincoln Riley defense over the last couple of years, yes, they've been lacking talent in certain areas, and that's been fairly easy to see. But it's not only that, right? You constantly see players out of position. You see poor tackling technique. And again, with Lincoln Riley specifically, this is something that has followed him from school. We saw it last year at Southern Cal after seeing it for 4 years in a row at Oklahoma. So we can't say, well, it was just the Oklahoma culture. No, it's Lincoln Riley for whatever reason. Same defensive coordinator at Oklahoma, took him with him to Southern Cal, same results. Defense is why Southern Cal didn't make the playoffs last year. Defense is why Lincoln Riley has never won a first-round playoff game. Offensively, Lincoln Riley has had a good enough offense almost every single year that he's ever been a head coach. Lincoln Riley has had a good enough offense not just to make the playoffs, but to win them. Lincoln Riley's had a good enough offense to win a national title just about every single year he's ever been a head coach. The problem is, not only is the defense not where it needs to be, it's just not close in most years. And the biggest question I have about Southern Cal defensively heading into this season, because I do think they upgraded talent-wise, and you got to think, year two, maybe they take a little bit of a step forward. Even the players that are coming back have now a year of experience. If you go back to last year, the best thing about Southern Cal's defense was their ability to create turnovers, right? They led the country last year in turnovers created and turnover margin. I just don't think that's a repeatable stat. We talked about luck earlier. Somebody left a comment about Good luck to the season and blah, blah, blah. And I said that, yeah, over the course of any given season, every team experiences some amount of luck, both good and bad. And you just have to hope that the good luck comes in the games where you need it, right? Well, when it comes to turnovers in particular, not one turnover specifically, but just turnovers in general, over the course of a season, there is a lot of luck involved, right? The ball is shaped funny. So, when the ball hits the ground, which way does it bounce? Does it bounce right back into the running back or quarterback's arms? Does it bounce right to an offensive lineman's foot so he can fall on it? Or does it bounce right into a linebacker's stomach? Does it bounce right to a defensive lineman or a linebacker's foot so he can fall on it, right? So I think we all sort of know there's some luck involved in turnovers. Not all turnovers. A DB can make a great play on a ball and get an interception. There's no luck involved in that. But over the course of a season, luck plays a role in turnovers. And last year, it was unbelievable. Every single ball bounced Southern Cal's way. Offensively, if they fumbled, it bounced right back to them. Defensively, if the other team fumbled, it bounced right to Southern Cal. Tipped passes that landed right in a Southern Cal DB's hands. I don't think that's repeatable. And those turnovers kept them in a lot of games last year. Now, they're going to have to find a way to make that up because, like I said, I don't think that's repeatable. So the defense is going to have to get a lot better. We'll see. We'll get our first look at them tonight. But my thoughts on this game, the over-under 66 and Southern Cal favored by 30. Wow. That's a lot. So you're looking at like a, what would that be? A 45 to 20 type of game, something like that. You think Southern Cal can hold San Jose State under 3 scores? San Jose State was not great last year. They were pretty good the year before, not great last year. I'm probably going to stay away from this game, but, well, I'll tell you this. There's no way I'm betting Southern Cal minus 31.5 before I see their defense. So if I'm going to bet this game, I would take San Jose State and the points. I don't think they win the game. I think Southern Cal wins easily. But, you got to think 31.5 is a lot of points. Southern Cal could win this game 45-17. That's not covering 31.5. 45-17 is about 28 points. They got to win 52-17 to cover this 31.5. So I don't know. If I were going to bet the game, I'd probably take San Jose State. I'm not going to bet it, but for the purposes of just making a pick, I guess give me San Jose State and the 31.5 and the 31.5 points. FIU and Louisiana Tech. FIU is a 12-point underdog at Louisiana Tech. Is it Louisiana Tech Bulldogs? I believe it is. And it's the FIU. What is it? It's either the FIU Owls or the FIU Panthers. Which is it? There's FIU and there's FAU. I get confused. But anyway, I like Louisiana Tech in that one late at 12. And then that's it. That gets us then into the week 1 games next week. Boy, look at this one on Thursday. There's 2 really good games on Thursday. Nebraska and Minnesota is interesting to me. Matt Rule takes over at Nebraska. What can he do in year 1? And then, of course, the Florida-Utah game, obviously huge for a lot of reasons. There. So there you go. That's a look at the latest odds, lines, over-unders, point spreads, all that for today's games. Week 0, finally here. We survived another off season. Unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. Let's see, where are we at here? By Insanity, again, thank you for the super chat. It says Maryland is going to beat one of the big three. You know, I said that last offseason, and they almost pulled it off. They almost beat Michigan. They only lost by one score. They were winning at halftime. Couldn't finish the deal. But, yeah, it could happen again. I did pick Maryland to beat one of them. Who did I pick Maryland? I think I picked Maryland to beat one of them this year. Might have been Michigan. It might have been Michigan I picked Maryland to beat this year. Can't remember. Or maybe it was Ohio. Was it Ohio State? Might have been Ohio State. I did pick Maryland, I believe, to beat one of the big three this year. That's not a bad. It's not a bad bold prediction there. Chase Galindo, thank you for the super chat. He says chances TTU pulls the upset week 2. He's talking about Texas Tech. They host Oregon in week 2. He says, I'll be there. I ask now because I won't be here the next few weeks. Crazy things happen in Lubbock in football. I did pick Oregon to win that game, but when I did I did both an Oregon and a Texas Tech prediction video where I go through their schedules game by game. And I said the same thing in the Oregon video that I said in the Texas Tech video, which is I'm going to pick Oregon to win. I feel like they're the more talented team right now. But no one should be surprised if Texas Tech wins that game. Texas Tech was a good team last year. They got a lot coming back. Another situation with a year or two coaching staff where a lot of times you see a big step forward, right? Unfamiliar environment for Oregon. So we'll see. Now, I did pick Texas Tech to make the Big 12 title game, if that's any consolation. So I picked Oregon to beat Texas Tech. But I think I have Texas Tech at 9-3. With a loss to Oregon and then 2 Big 12 losses, which, according to my predictions, will get them into the Big 12 title game against Texas, where I have Texas winning. But so I like Texas Tech. I just I don't know if they have enough right now to beat an Oregon, but that'll be a great game. And an underrated game, too. I've been talking about it all offseason, and every time I talk about it, I say the same thing. More people should be talking about it. That's what no one's talking about this. And look, there's some huge non-con games, in particular in week 2. I mean, you've got the Alabama-Texas is just sucking all the oxygen out of the room for week 2. But Alabama and Texas in week 2. Texas Tech and Oregon is in week 2. Colorado and Nebraska, is that right? In week 2, I think. Baylor and Utah, I think, play week 2. Later on, you got Notre Dame, Ohio State. You've got, I think, Texas A&M and Miami is week 2. But that Texas Tech-Oregon game is going to be really, really good. I've got Texas Tech ranked inside my top 25. I've got Oregon in the top 15. I think it's going to be a really good game. Really good game. Thank you for the super chat. And what does that say? Weiss. Yeah, I'm sure I said that wrong, but I didn't name you or choose your YouTube name. You did, but Weiss. I don't know. Weiss. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. That means a lot. All right, let's do this. I'm just curious. If you had to pick one big upset today, who's most likely to lose? Vandy? Southern Cal? Notre Dame? We'll leave that poll up for a few minutes. Y'all vote in the poll. There you go. Vote in the poll. I'm curious. Who do you think's most likely to lose? I'm guessing people are going to say Vandy. I'm guessing people will say Vandy. WoTod99 says finally college football is back. Yeah, finally. Finally. Navy won't get penalized. Navy is sneaky, says Robert. No, says Hilton Carroll. USC is the most likely to lose, says Jonathan Miller. Uh-oh. Boy, what a absolute, I mean, geez. I'm doing a Your Season is Over video tomorrow just because it's Sunday, and that's what I do on Sundays during the season. I'm not expecting to be able to do a whole lot of pointing and laughing on the Your Season is Over video tomorrow. But if Southern Cal or Notre Dame were to lose today, holy moly, you talk about some fan bases that'll be looking to jump out the nearest window. Because both Notre Dame fans and Southern Cal fans believe they have a playoff caliber team in 2023. But if you can't beat Navy or San Jose State, reality is going to come crashing down real quick. Now, I don't expect that to happen in either case, but God, it sure would be funny if it did. It sure would be funny if it did. How delicious if Notre Dame loses in Ireland. Yeah, and then you got that whole side of the story, too, that, you know, Notre Dame, the Irish school, travels over to Ireland and gets humiliated by, you know, a service academy. That would be hilarious. I don't expect it to happen, but it sure would be funny. Didn't Notre Dame and Navy play last year? Notre Dame loves beating up on the service academies. That's how they won all their national titles back in the black and white TV days, pre-integration in the South. Notre Dame played a bunch of nobodies and 6 service academies a year and won a bunch of natties. Jack Dokev says, or Dosev, again, I don't name these people, says, I think I am faster than Graham Mertz. Yeah, Graham Mertz not going to be doing a lot of running around, I don't think. I think that's safe to say. Carolina Jackpot says losing to Navy isn't fun. Did South Carolina lose to them? I'd have to go back and look. Jackpot's a South Carolina fan. Uncle Lou, would the Gators lose today? Well, they're not going to win. They're not going to win. I hope Hawaii beats Vandy. I don't think that's happening, and our prayers will be with Hawaii. Oh, well, yeah, you're a Tennessee fan, so you hate Vandy. So, yeah, you probably do hope they lose. They're a big favorite. Oh, boy. What's y'all's predictions for the playoffs or conference champions? So I don't normally put out a playoff prediction video or a conference championship video. I do my game-by-game predictions, and then I just kind of let people figure it out from there. But just too many people asking me about it, so I did the video yesterday. So in the ACC title game, I've got Florida State and Clemson in a rematch, and I've got Clemson winning the ACC. In the SEC, I've got Georgia versus LSU, and I've got Georgia winning. So I've got Clemson and Georgia winning their conference. The Big Ten, I've got Wisconsin versus Michigan, with Michigan winning. So Clemson, Georgia, Michigan, conference champions. Big 12, I've got Texas versus Texas Tech, again in a rematch from the regular season, with Texas beating Texas Tech for a second time and winning the Big 12. So Clemson, Georgia, Michigan, Texas, 4 of the conference champions. And then in the Pac-12, I've got Southern Cal and Oregon. I've got Oregon beating Southern Cal in the regular season. The game is in Eugene. The game's in Oregon. I've got Southern Cal getting revenge, beating Oregon in the Pac-12 title game. So my 5 conference champions, Southern Cal, Texas, Michigan, Georgia, and Clemson. Unfortunately for Clemson, I've got them with 3 losses, so they're out of the playoffs. That leaves the 4 playoff teams, Georgia, Michigan, Texas, and Southern Cal. So that's my playoff prediction, Georgia, Texas, Michigan, and Southern Cal, with Clemson winning the ACC. but having too many losses to go ahead and get into the playoffs. Yeah, facts. Lou, you think we can still flip Juju from USC? No. I don't ever think we can flip any QB from anywhere, so no. But I'm mad about that. I wanted him. I wanted him, and we're not getting him. So thank you, Jonathan. Slim Shady says college football playoff: Southern Cal, Penn State, Clemson, UGA. I like that one too. I think Penn State could surprise some people this year. I like Penn State. I've got them as I've got Penn State actually at 11-1. But their loss is to Michigan. So by tiebreaker, Michigan wins the Big Ten East, therefore playing Wisconsin and beating Wisconsin in the Big Ten title game. So basically, I've got Wisconsin in the same boat, I've got Penn State in the same boat that Ohio State found themselves in last year. Sitting there at the end of the regular season with just one loss, but not winning their division. And then they have to then watch the conference championship games the next week, hoping some team or some amount of teams will lose so that they can slide into that 4 spot, which is what Ohio State did last year. Southern Cal was on the way to the playoffs last year. All they had to do was beat Utah in the Pac-12 title game, and they couldn't do it. Southern Cal lost, and that opened the door for Ohio State to get in it with the 4 seed with an 11-1 record, even though they didn't win their division. I've got Penn State sitting in that same situation at the end of the regular season this year. Just my predictions, I don't have them getting in because I've got Southern Cal winning the Pac-12. Therefore, just having the 1 loss and getting in instead of Penn State. I can't wait for next week. So many games. Yeah, next week's going to be great. Now, I'm going to be live streaming 5 days in a row next week for week 1. I'm going to live stream Thursday night, prime time, Florida and Utah, Nebraska and Minnesota. There's other games too, but so I'm going to we'll start about 7 o'clock on Thursday. What are the Friday games? Is there anything worth is there a Friday game worth doing? Oh, yeah. Miami Hurricanes play, and so does Georgia Tech. So, yeah, we'll stream Friday, too. So we'll stream the Thursday night games. We'll stream the Friday night games. Saturday will be the Patreon stream. So I'll put the poll up on Patreon on Monday. All the Patreon folks will vote. And whatever time slot, that's the way it works on Patreon. They don't vote on a game, they vote on a time slot. So like if you're on the Patreon page, it's up to you to look at the slate of games and decide which time slot it is you want me to stream on Patreon every week. So I'll put the poll up on Monday or Tuesday. Y'all can head over to the Patreon page, cast your vote for a time slot. But either noon, afternoon, or prime time, and we'll go from there. Streaming schedule today, 2:30, Notre Dame Navy, right here on this channel. So first college football game of the year, Notre Dame and Navy. I'll be live streaming today, so come hang out, watch the first college football game of the day, and then tonight we'll be live streaming on the Patreon page. So if you're a member of the Patreon page, you know how it works. I'll post a link on Patreon around 6:45. Head over to the Patreon page. It'll be on the top of the page. You'll see the link posted. Just click on the link. It'll take you to tonight's live stream. If you're not on the Patreon page and you want to be, there's a link in the description of this video that'll take you over there. You can have yourself a look around. There's a lot of people that join the Patreon page during the season for the game streams and then unsubscribe in January or February when the season ends. So if you're one of those people, make sure you get yourself signed back up because the Patreon streams are starting today. Yeah. Make sure you're buying some Uncle Lou coffee, too. What do you do? Look, I've tried 2 different bags of that coffee. They were both good. The first one was kind of just a regular coffee. It was just like a medium roast. It's kind of just regular coffee. It was good. And then I've got now I'm drinking the what is it? French vanilla? And it's good. It's real good. Yeah. In fact, I don't know that I've ever had flavored coffee beans before, but until I tried this French vanilla, but they're good. They're real good. But if you're not drinking Uncle Lou coffee in the morning, I don't know what you're doing. I really don't. If you're drinking Folgers or Starbucks or whatever it is you're wasting time, effort, and energy on, you should be drinking Uncle Lou coffee in the morning is what you should be doing. Makes a great gift, too, especially if you know somebody that hates Uncle Lou. I can't think of a better gift for somebody that hates Uncle Lou than to send them a bag of Uncle Lou coffee. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, good morning. It's Uncle Lou here. Yep, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, live on YouTube for you. Welcome to the College Football Kickoff Show, live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. right here on YouTube during the college football season. And the College Football Kickoff Show is sponsored by Devil Dogs Brew and Beans. And they've got an Uncle Lou coffee blend. That's right. Make sure you check out the link in the description of the video. I've partnered with the good people over at Devil Dogs Brew and Beans to bring you some of the best coffee money can buy. Check it out. Link in the description. You can get whole bean, ground, espresso blend, different flavors, strengths, different boldnesses. Whatever you need, they've got it. Check it out. Help support the show and the channel. Pick you up a bag of Uncle Lou coffee and start your day the same way I do, with a great cup of coffee. Have a good morning. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. That really is. All right, so we did conference winners. We did the playoffs. I'm gonna end that poll in a second on who y'all think could lose today. Make sure you vote in that poll. We'll keep it up for another minute or two. Who's most likely? None of them are likely to lose, but who's most likely to lose out of Notre Dame, Southern Cal, and Vanderbilt today? So we did conference winners. We did playoff predictions. What about Heisman Trophy? Anybody think is Caleb Williams going to repeat? It's only been done once, right? Only been done once. Could Caleb Williams repeat as Heisman Trophy winner at Southern Cal? And if it's not going to be Caleb Williams, who's it going to be? Well, there's a couple of other quarterbacks in the Pac-12 that had really good years last year, whose name is pretty high on everybody's list heading into this year. Bo Nix, Michael Penix. Not sure about Cameron Rising. He's coming off of that knee surgery, and he doesn't really put up the type of numbers, I don't think. He's kind of a Max Duggan type, so I guess I don't know. When you watch Cam Rising play, he reminds me of Max Duggan. So I don't know. I guess if Utah were to pull off some kind of 12-0 regular season or something, maybe Cam Rising starts to get some Heisman chatter. I don't know. We got to see how his knee is and if he even plays in the beginning of the season. Outside of that, non-quarterbacks, of course, Marvin Harrison would be pretty high on the list. Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum, the running backs at Michigan. Nick Singleton at Penn State. Another running back that would be high on the list. Braylon Allen at Wisconsin. Another running back that would be on the list. Brock Bowers, a real long shot at Georgia, tight end. Carson Beck's got way better odds preseason of winning the Heisman than Brock Bowers does. Carson Beck's in the top 5 or 6 of the Heisman odds right now, which is unbelievable to me. The guy's never started a game. I have confidence in him. I think he's going to be fine, but I don't know that I would bet on him winning the Heisman in his first year as a starter. If you look at the Heisman Trophy, the people that win it, it seems like it's usually it seems like it's usually when they have a second good year. Like, rarely does someone come out of nowhere with one good year to win the Heisman. I think Johnny Manziel won it his first year as a starter. But it's usually a player who's already had a good year. You know, Caleb Williams was good at Oklahoma in 21. and then he wins the Heisman Trophy at Southern Cal in 22. Joe Burrow wasn't great in 2018. He was okay, but he wasn't great. And he, of course, went on to win it in 2019. So I don't know what that means for Carson Beck, but it's hard for me to imagine any Georgia quarterback winning the Heisman, to be honest. But what do y'all think? Any chance Marvin Harrison? If it's a defensive player, what? Harold Perkins from LSU? He's got the best odds of any defensive player. A wide receiver did win the Heisman, 3 seasons ago? 2 seasons ago? Devontae Smith? Was that the COVID year? 2020 he won that? Well, how about this? Would it be more likely that a tight end would win it or a defensive player? You know, whether you're talking about Harold Perkins and Brock Bowers is really irrelevant for these purposes. I just mean, which position do you think the Heisman voters would be more likely to consider for the Heisman? A defensive player or a tight end? I would probably lean a defensive player. I don't know. If Brock Bowers comes out and has 1,400 yards as a tight end with 15 touchdowns, and then maybe he's got a couple of hundred rushing yards, because we run him on jet sweeps and all these kinds of things. So maybe he's got a couple hundred rushing yards and 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns. I don't know. I just find it hard to believe they would vote for a tight end to win the Heisman in today's college football. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? I don't know. But let's be real. There's a lot of shit that I don't know. All right, let's check this poll. What'd y'all think about this? What'd y'all think? Who's more likely to lose, Vandy, Notre Dame, or Southern Cal? Y'all chose Vandy with 46% of the vote. Notre Dame was second with 39% of the vote, and Southern Cal third with 13% of the vote. So y'all are extremely confident in Southern Cal and Notre Dame. Well, really, you're confident in all of them, but that's how the poll shakes out. Appreciate y'all voting in the poll. Gator Zone, thank you for the super chat. He says, New Year, same bet. Georgia wins. I send you 2 helmets. Florida wins. You wear a Tebow jersey. I send you during the SEC championship game live stream. Okay. It's a bet. It's a bet, buddy. Jesus Christ Home Slice, thank you for the super chat. It's hard for me to buy into the Penn State hype. Every year, Penn State climbs the rankings. The moment they get into the top 5, they lose the very next week, regardless of who it's against. Well, they were 10-2 last year with losses to 2 top 4 teams, Ohio State and Michigan. Ohio State and Michigan. I think it's just about time to start filling in the names on this rigged wheel. For those of you who are new to the College Football Kickoff Show, we do this every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. during the season. And at the end of the show, we take everybody's name who has helped support the channel through either PayPal or Cash App. Direct donations are what keep these live streams on the air. So this is just a way to kind of a fun thing to do for the people that help to support the channel through Cash App and PayPal. We do this random wheel. People call it the rigged wheel. So that's what we call it, affectionately known is the rigged wheel. But everybody that sends either a PayPal or a Cash App, in the amount, whatever amount, it doesn't matter, you get your name added to this wheel. We then spin the wheel picks a name. That person gets to pick any game they want for the day against a spread. If they get it right, I send them back whatever they sent me, or twice what they sent me. So you send in 10 to support the show, I send you back 20. You send in 20 to support the show, I send you back 40. People have had a hard time winning, though. Unfortunately, the people who have been chosen over the last few years, just for whatever reason, have not been able to pick very many games right. So what we're going to do this year is, well, two things. Number one, if the person is wrong, if they don't get the game right, if the person is wrong, their winnings are going to get rolled over to next week. So, if somebody sends $10, they stand to win $10. If they don't, that $10 is going to get rolled over to next week. So then next week, if the person that won sent in 20, they stand to win 20. They could win that 20 plus the 10 from the previous week. So I hope that makes sense. In addition to that, after we pick the winner every single week, we're going to spin the wheel an additional time, and that person is going to get their money back. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. So let's add some names. We'll start with the Cash App from today. So if you want to get on the wheel, you're running out of time, because once I get done entering these names, I'm going to check one more time, and then that's gonna be it. So we already got Louis C on here. The second name on the wheel today is going to be Seth W. Seth, thank you for helping to support the show today. We've got Mayhem Matthew. Matthew, thank you for helping to support the show. We've got Andrew K. We've got Chase G. We've got Mikey B. We've got Wesley H. We've got Mark S. There we go. And Louis C., which we put in earlier. I think that's the, let me just make sure. Yeah, there we go. There we go. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. All right. Let's see what else we got. We have Colby. Thank you, Colby. Thank you for helping to support the show today. We've got, where is it? There it is. Yeah. All right. Colby. Raj. USB device not recognized. Well, okay. We've got Smata. Thank you, Smata. Thank you, Raj. Thank you, Colby. We've got Joseph H. Joseph H. says he's taking Navy into points. I hear you. I hear you. Slim Shady Canes. Thank you, Slim. Hoghead also wants Navy if he wins. A lot of y'all on Navy, huh? A lot of y'all on Navy and the points. I like it. I like it. We've got an Ohio State fan. Not the, but an. Now, here's a name I haven't seen in a while. Good to see you back here. J. R. Oh, man. William C. says, put me on the rigged wheel. Say less. Gotcha. Bobo's headset. Bobo's headset. Yes. All right. Couple more. Brandon L. God dang it. I promise I know what I'm doing. Brandon L. You got to look, it's week 0, okay? You're going to get a few delay of games, a false start or two. You're going to send your punt return team out there and they're only going to have 10 men on the field, that kind of thing. Give me a break here. It's the first week. It's week 0. I promise I know what I'm doing. Sir UGA. All right, there we go. That's it. I'm going to cut it off right there. Big thank you to everybody who helped support the show. Okay, so the way this is going to work. This part here, we're going to do the same way we have been doing. So let's pick somebody, let's see, some random name in the comments section. Let's see. How about Marie? What's up, Marie? Marie, you're here all the time. You're good people. You're a loyal YouTube viewer. Yeah. Marie, go ahead and pick a number for me between 3 and 6. Go ahead, Marie. Any number between 3 and 6. What's it going to be? What's it going to be, Marie? Maria. Oh, no, Marie. Marie says 2. But I said between 3 and 6. Marie, are you trolling me? You must be trolling me. I said between 3 and 6, and you keep typing 2. Which is alarming to me. As 2 does not fall between 3 and 6. So, do you want me to pick somebody else? Is that what you're saying? I'll give you one more chance, then I'll have to pick somebody else, see if you're trolling me. Okay, 5. Okay, fair enough. 5 it is. 5 sounds good to me. 5 sounds good to me. So what we're going to do, we're going to spin the wheel 5 times. The fifth name will be the winner. Good luck to everybody. Again, thank you for helping us support the show and the channel. Here we go. The 5th name will be the winner. The first name is Mikey B. Name number 2. Again, the 5th name is the winner. The 5th name. Blame Marie. You can blame Marie for that. Seth W. Seth W. would have been the winner if Marie would have got her way with picking number 2, but unfortunately, she couldn't. She picked 5. That's the 2nd name. On to the 3rd name. Ooh, that was close. Ohio State fan. On to the 4th name. Name number 4. Joseph H. in that. The fifth name. And a chance to double their money. A chance to double their money just for helping to support the show. Mayhem Matthew. Congratulations, Mayhem Matthew. Let me check the note you sent and see if you picked, if you made your pick. Let's see. No, you didn't. It says love the content. Thank you, Mayhem Matthew. But now we're going to need to know what team you want, Mayhem Matthew. What game do you want to pick? Are you still in here? Mayhem Matthew. We'll give him a minute or two. He says, I'll take the over on Vandy and Hawaii. All right, let's write that down. We'll pull the lines back up, take a look at them, and we will write you down. Rigged Wheel 2023. Mayhem Matthew, week 0. All right. He wants the over on Vandy and Hawaii. Over 56.5, he says. Over 56.5. Mayhem Matthew, good luck. We got you written down in the Rigged Wheel notebook. Again, thank you, Matthew, and everyone else for helping to support the show and the channel. Now, we got one more spin coming up here. One more spin. Again, if you're new to the Saturday morning show, I've been doing this every Saturday morning for years, and unfortunately, people have just had a hard time winning their bets. So this year we're adding to it. So if Mayhem Matthew doesn't win his bet, his winnings are going to roll over to next week. So then whoever wins next week will have an opportunity not only to win their bet, but then to get Mayhem Matthew's money from this week. Does that make sense? All right. And then we're going to spin the wheel a second time every Saturday morning, which we're fixing to do now. And that person, I'm just going to send you your money back. I'm just going to send you your money back. It's that easy. See? See how easy it is? That's what I tell them at the blackjack table every time I hit a hand. See how easy that is? It's easy. Now, when I lose a hand, I just don't say anything at all. Or I cry. All right, we need another volunteer. Octavian, can you count? That's a fair question, too, by the way. It's a fair question. Octavian, can you count? Octavian, pick a number between 3 and 6 for me, sir. Octavian's good people, too. He's here year-round. He's not one of these 5-month-a-year college football fans. He's a year-round college football fan. I know we laugh at Octavian because he's got some crazy takes on Florida, but he's a diehard, passionate fan. He loves college football, and he sticks around year-round. So shout out to Octavian. Calls into the show all the time. He says 4. All right, we're going to spin the wheel 4 more times. The fourth name on the wheel. The fourth name on the wheel is going to go ahead and win their money back. Yeah. I'm telling you, it couldn't be any easier. Here's the first spin. Looking for the fourth name. Looking for the fourth name. Hoghead. Obviously, if Mayhem Matthew is the fourth name, then that won't count. Because the whole point is I want 2 different winners a week. So Mayhem Matthew is ineligible. So if Mayhem Matthew happens to be the fourth name, then we're going to spin it 1 additional time. So let's just throw that out there now in case that happens. Hoghead was the first name. Name number 2. Mayhem Matthew. Name number 3. Mayhem Matthew, you should play the lottery today. Name number 3. Andrew K. The 4th and final name is Good luck to everybody. And again, thank you all for helping to support the show this morning. I really appreciate it. Joseph H. There you go. Congratulations, Joseph H. Now everybody sees how easy it is, right? Now let's see. What he was. That must have been, let's see, was that PayPal or Cash App? I think it was PayPal. Let's find out. Let's find out, Joseph H. Yes, it was. All right, let me do this now so I don't forget to do it later. Go ahead and send it right back to you right now. Joseph, thank you for helping to support the show this morning. I really appreciate it. You are good people. Of that, there's very little doubt. That. There we go. I found you. All right. Boy, it takes a lot of clicks to do something on PayPal, doesn't it? There's that. There's that. And there's that. All right, Joseph H. Done and done. And again, thank you for helping to support the show this morning. Thank you to everybody for helping to support the show, whether it's participating in the comment section, hitting the thumbs up, just showing up and watching Uncle Lou here on this year's first edition of the College Football Kickoff Show. Again, we do this every Saturday morning during the season at 9 a.m. We go through the entire list of the day's games. We look at who's kicking off at what time, what channel all the games are coming on. We try to figure out what we need to watch, when we need to watch it. We look at all the latest betting lines, all that kind of stuff. Kind of a different type of show this morning because there was only 4 or 5 games to talk about. So we had to, do some other things. We talked some Heisman. We talked some conference champions. We talked some national champions too. We had to. Justin Anderson, thank you for the super chat. He says, bold prediction, Iowa goes 11-1. Yeah, that's bold as hell. That's bold as hell. Here's a bold prediction. Iowa might not score 11 points all year. Plus, isn't half their team suspended for gambling? I don't know. That is a bold prediction there. I think Wisconsin wins the Big Ten West at 10-2. I don't think anybody in the Big Ten West is good enough to go 11-1. But yeah, that is a bold prediction. Ezra Mitchell says, if Cam Rising is out, do the Gators have a shot? Yeah. Well, look, the Gators have a shot even with Cam Rising. They beat this same Utah team last year, right? Now, that was with Anthony Richardson, not Graham Mertz, and a better offensive line than they have this year. But also, Florida's got a better defense this year than last year, so they got a shot either way. It was in Gainesville last year. Utah this year makes it more difficult. I mean, there's a reason that Utah's favored, and most people are picking Utah to win the game. But yeah, I mean, Cam Rising is one of those type of guys that, can win a game for you if you're Utah. So without him, and here's the thing, Utah's backup quarterback is hurt too. So if Cam Rising can't play, it'll be the third string quarterback for Utah that plays. At least that's what I'm hearing. So we'll see. We'll see. Thank you, Justin and Ezra. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to eat myself some lunch, relax for a little while, and then I'll be back at 2:30. We're going to stream the Notre Dame Navy game live at 2:30. So, first college football game of the year. If you're going to be watching it this afternoon, come on, hang out with us over here on the channel. We have a really good time during these game streams. And again, tonight I'll be on the Patreon page streaming the primetime games, which is Vanderbilt and Hawaii and Southern Cal and San Jose State. A couple of other games on too, but those are the two games involving Power 5 teams. If you're new to the Patreon page and you don't know how it works, just head over to the Patreon page around 6:45 or 7. The first post you'll see will be a post about the stream with a link. You just click on that link, and it will take you to the Patreon live stream for the primetime games. That'll be tonight at 7 o'clock. But I'll be right back here on YouTube at 2:30 for the Notre Dame and Navy game. All right, I hope everybody enjoys the first Saturday of the college football season, even if it is kind of just half of a slate of games, less than half of a slate of games. We really get things started next week. 5 straight days of games next week to kick off week 1, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And I will be streaming all 5 days. So I can't wait for that. But we're gonna get it started today with week 0. Good luck to everybody's team, and have a good morning.